So that simply means that the day. Hello, Michael.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, sir. It's been a while, Joe. You seems to suddenly have turned to a silent watcher in the last couple of days.
Yeah, I had to go silent because I was involved in certain things that I needed to concentrate a bit more to get them out of the way.
Okay,
But
fair enough. And now you're
I've,
back. Please.
obviously, I'm just gonna hit one of the biggest issue. Like I say, you keep chipping on you're chipping on the back of the wood, and you're beginning to get deeper and deeper into the wood. The me is doing the same thing.
So we can't wait for
Uh,
the entire thing to fall with a big bang. Then,
it's either it has to fall either one way or the other. To be honest with you,
hmm,
for those people that feel depressed and say Nigeria will never work, Nigeria can work. Nigeria is a perfect society. It has worked before. It worked before. It worked before
that
independence. It
was a
worked after
system that worked.
independence.
Yeah, right.
The system that worked in Nigeria was a system based on merit before the introduction of federal character system. The system that worked in Nigeria was a system of confederalism, where each federating unit controlled their resources and had their own, I'll say, uh, federating government.
You're right.
And for those that are old enough like us, I remember that the Western region owned the embassy here in London,
Yes,
and the eastern region was more affiliated to America,
that's right.
while the north was affiliated to the UK and partly to the Americans
Hmm.
because they didn't have no alliance, and they were also keen to be close to the French on the Arab League. I know I'm just going deeper. However, the Nigeria we have now is a Nigeria where somebody comes in with quota system qualification,
Hmm.
get two to get a WAEC, get pass two courses in WAEC, and become the head of service. How do you expect that person to analyze a report? And one of the biggest problems you have in my let me tell you the truth, is that you have people, you're trying to convince an audience that think
Hmm.
in a binary way, in a unitary way instead of binary way. When I say unitary way, go when you go. Most people here are Nigerians. They have friends that are Nigerians.
Hmm.
They have family members that are Nigerians. Call somebody that is doing something wrong in Nigeria and tell him this thing you're doing is wrong, and he will not even listen to you finish that conversation. He will tell you
And now, before
you're
the
trying to force.
what aboutism? What about that one? Am I the only one
No,
hearing it? What about
it's
what
not.
about?
It's not. If you're going too far, you're going too far. The first after that, what about anyway?
Hmm.
Next thing is you're trying to post and sign Magari. My pastor said, my imam said,
That
my
too.
godfather said.
Hmm.
So this your godfather now. Just watch the way of thinking of a typical Nigerian. This your pastor that said, has he done that thing that I'm telling you is the right way?
Hmm.
Your pastor has no experience. He just saw a video on YouTube and is giving you an advice and you're believing it. Your imam saw a video on YouTube and he give you an advice, you believe it. Your godfather, they do not have the critical ability to pick up the paper and read it. For example, I've read the tax law, the Tinubu tax law.
Hmm.
That tax law is a good tax law.
Right.
It's converting Nigeria back to the old federalism system, confederating system, sorry,
Hmm. Hmm.
but through the back door. If that tax law goes through, you keep most of your money. Go and I have done a review of before. Some people asked me to do a review for you on the private chat, and I told them this is if you earn 1 million under the current tax law
Hmm.
and you earn 1 million under the new tax law,
Hmm.
you will keep more of your 1 million than you would do if the new tax law goes through.
Hmm.
These are the things that when you want to criticize the policy, you criticize it based on the positive and negative side of the policy.
Right. Right.
However, the problem we have in Nigeria is if you implement that tax law, the western, the old western region and the old eastern region will become more prosperous.
Hmm.
But Tinubu still controls most of his
So
Lagos
it
and
takes his
other
own
parts.
share from it. That's the difference. Yeah.
Thank you. Tinubu wants to introduce his own company that will be taking that tax on behalf of government,
Hmm.
in front of the FRS. It will become
Or give the
Nigerian
chunk to
something.
these places where the money is made than
Thank
the
you.
sharing formula where, rob Peter to pay Paul. It's kind of.
Thank you. The problem you have is, like I said earlier,
Mhm.
that imam that is busy talking about tax law, what qualification does he have to justify him being able to analyze the tax law? Are you seeing where that is why I say the
I
Nigeria
am
we
with
have now
you.
will never work.
Mhm.
The Nigeria we have now will not work. But if somebody like you bring that tax law here and you start reading it, explaining it to people one by one, the same people you're trying to explain it to will not listen to you. They will go back to that imam and listen to that version of his own.
Hmm.
So that's why I say you're chipping at the I keep telling you, you're chipping on the tree. The tree is not gonna fall, not because the tree cannot fall, but because you need to hit a critical mass of people that can critically think outside the unitary way of thinking to say, okay, this person is a bad person. I don't like you as a I'm not a fan of Tinubu,
Okay.
but he has something good he's offering. In this one, he's offering something good.
Hmm.
Even though he's gonna eat from me back through back door.
Mhm.
But in another way, it's taking me closer to where I want to go. Because by the time you implement that tax law, you will now know which states are bankrupt and which states are not bankrupt.
Hmm. And there will be a lot of them. I mean, it's only about
Thank you.
6 or 7 states in Nigeria that will be viable.
Thank you. When you now get to the point where states are viable now, when somebody open his mouth and tell you want to be head of service, you now say, come, you cannot be from a bankrupt state.
Hmm.
I'm controlling the same service that I contribute more to. It begins to give you leverage through the back door. And I keep saying it. People say that the people in the system cannot take us to where we want to go. However, me, I tell people, the people within the system will keep making laws that will break the system up to the point
Gradually.
where we that want to go to a positive area, maybe in my lifetime, obviously, I've gone past my 50s now, into my 60s. So if it is in my lifetime, they're going
There's
to
a
come.
chance that somehow this is good. I kind of said something similar to it. I said
Yeah.
if I leave the logical thinking of it to emotional thinking of it, like we have all said many times, of how much the North has grown so lazy enough to be dragging the rest of us backward. So this will make me align with what Tinubu is about to do, ignoring his own his own jara that is about making himself even more richer. Okay, but thing is that the northern Nigeria who have this mentality of born to rule, they might actually be getting to a stage of wrapping it up, and their interest in
Yeah.
this one Nigeria may become reduced slowly and gradually until they
Have
feel
you
like there's
have,
nothing to
have,
hold on to anymore. Let's
have
break
you
up.
noticed that? Have you noticed that when the northern elites are talking,
Yeah,
they tell you Nigerian oil. They
yeah.
don't tell you Zamfara. They don't tell you Nigerian gold.
They
They
just say
don't tell you
Nigerian
Nigerian
gold.
mineral in the up north.
Mhm.
Why do they do that? That the moment that tax law comes in, don't sometimes you may not like somebody.
Yep.
Go and read the policy
So
and
they will have to
understand.
declare
Okay,
their gold now.
thanh you.
They will
Now
have
you
to
have to
declare
declare your
all
gold
this
in your own
uranium and
proper.
other things that they
Thank
are secretly
you.
mining
Thank
illegally.
you. Thank you. And when they issue a mining license, we know where the mining license goes to. We know who owns the mining license in that state.
Mhm. And if it's paying the tax to the states, if it's not,
Thank
then it
you.
is now the duty of the state to go after them or go
Thank
bankrupt.
you. And not even that, it makes it easier for people like you now,
Mhm.
what you're doing, and going, you know what? Okay, the person in charge of repairing the Wolu Road,
Mhm.
the taxes you collect on the Wolu Road goes to this particular manufacturing
Yes.
plant.
Mhm.
Why is this road not being working? You start investigating. You narrow it. Unlike now, Nigeria, the system that the northern elite has succeeded in creating in Nigeria is what we call how I'm gonna put it's shrouded in so many secrecy through the military rule.
Mhm.
Everything is federal, 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 federal.
Mhm.
The moment that tax law comes in, we start beginning to see who state, like I said, who state is viable, who is not viable. Now you can start beginning to campaign to go, you know what? If your state is not viable, you only send one senator that you can afford to pay to the federal house.
Mm.
If my state is viable, I send more senators, which means I'm forcing you to start thinking inside the box to make your state viable,
That's right.
or you plug your state into another state.
So that's
So it's not
actually
just
what
a case
got
of
them so mad right now. And they said it is a total attack on the North. It is going to weaken them. It is going to bankrupt them. So me as a Southerner, if I want to become, like
which
what you
means
have been
no,
preaching, let everybody control their resources. I will be like, then bring it on.
Thank you. And what that mean? When I say everybody, when you see what I'm saying now, we may not like the guy, but if he achieves this, he's indirectly taking you to like 80% of what you want to achieve by breaking
Closer.
it up.
Yep.
Because if you can control your resources, you can decide what you do with that resources,
That's right.
and you can decide when you're going to break it up.
Closer. That makes a lot of sense, by the way. But it is because the man running it is not a trustworthy person. But you're right. Let's see how far they can still
he's not going
hold
to
it
live forever.
together.
He's not going to live forever. That's one thing we put there. People like us are going to go and pass one day.
Eventually.
Once upon a time,
Yep.
if you call IBB's name in Nigeria, they say I'm Maradona. Once upon a time, Abacha was a feared name.
Yep.
Once upon a time, even this Idi Agbon was a feared name in Nigerian household. They all come and gone. I probably may not be, like I said, I may not benefit from it. But I'm looking at it from a point of view of, okay, you know what? I don't like this guy. Yep. But this thing is breaking. Is it helping me to achieve my target?
Getting us closer
because the moment that
what we have
policy
been
goes
preaching
through,
to.
the moment that policy goes through, the Yoruba nation, the Biafra nation will now realize, wait, when we open this bank account, we've been agreed it will be family bank account too. But I can't look and say, me, they contribute 80,000. You, they contribute only 1,000. And you want to be managing director. Okay, calm down now. How you want to be managing director?
We cannot run it this way anymore. Okay?
We cannot run it this way anymore. It's either I continue to be your managing director, or you go make your own money to bring your own money, make it equivalent to my own. Then we'll go run it that way. Then you will see that people will begin to sit up. You will not, people will begin to realize, wait, I don't need to go to Lagos to get a job. I can be in my state and get a job.
Yes. And be creative
that is the part I'm looking at it from. I may not like the guy, but that's the part I'm looking at that policy from. And that's why the North is always keen. If the North
says, you know what somebody said? If the North is mad, seriously mad the way they are, then maybe it's a good thing. I was like, okay, we shall see.
The question is, if the North is mad the way they are, that means we have been suffering in the way it is now.
We shall see. Thank you so much, okay, for actually adding that, all right? On this platform, we have the chance of looking at things from all perspectives, right? Which is what makes us very, 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 like, interesting, I would say. So thank you so much for stopping by. I shall speak to you again, sir. You have a good one.
And you too, bye.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye. So, Baby Rose, I got your coffees, because it's like, and that's quite generous of you, right? To get me the many, many cups. If to say this whole thing is actually like they are bringing me coffees from, from Quota, I'll probably become a coffee addict. You guys are so generous this evening, and I appreciate that, okay? So, and you're like the general. Great work. Thank you so much. And then, the message to Totu, I bet he's reading it. All of you are engaging yourself in the comment section as we speak. So bless you. Here is Prince Adebayo from Sweden.
My king.
Yes, sir.
My king.
The prince.
My king. Thank you for picking. I'm fine, Baba. Baba, I'm very grateful for the way you present your programs. Honestly, every day you add blood tonic to my day. You know, I don't know what.
And thank you so much for the support as well.
Please keep doing it.
Pastor will say, "Feel by saying Kosawa."
I'm telling you,
if there are no brethren, there is no GO. You know that now.
I'm telling you.
So I can't be talking to myself every evening. So I am so grateful for the kind of audience I have as well. All of you.
I'm telling you, Baba, now for this YouTube, now we catch our own joy.
You get
now, so we will grow together. I tell you, that's how we will grow together. Otherwise, if we don't see you for this YouTube, our situation
is missing. I know. Do you know that I didn't want to come on tonight? Prince, it was like end of the month anyway. Let everybody go rest. And then I was like, man, I have this few stuff I wanted to talk about. And I don't think it's ideal to actually move it to a new month. Okay. New month starts tomorrow. So, okay, I'm going to come. And I'm glad I did.
Yes, Baba.
Thank you so much.
This.
Go on.
Yes, Baba. This tax problem, this tax bill,
yes, sir.
It's God that's indirectly using Tinubu. Okay. Tinubu did not. So. Yes, He did not go into that.
Many vices. So, but this particular one,
yes.
Something is directing
yes.
him. And yeah, go on.
Yes. You know, what the common citizen of Nigeria has been saying from day one is remove power from the center. You understand?
Right.
If you remove power from the center and make it a regional kind of government, a lot of states or a lot of regions will develop. But what Tinubu is trying to do is to add more power to the center. You know, he wants to take more money because he has seen that money is not coming in from oil as before. Now they need to use tax to, you know, increase their own revenue. Right. So the only way they want to do is by tweaking the system so that it will encourage states or regions to perform more, so that as they perform, they will gain. So they are taking the money. This tax is going to remove money from the illegal hands. That's all those state governments that are not allowing the funds to get to the center.
The source where they are not declaring.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of them that they have privatized.
Exactly.
So now they would have to declare them, right?
Yeah, exactly. In order for them to be viable, they need to declare them. Otherwise, if they are not viable, if they bring 1 naira, they will divide that 1 naira with the federal.
And now,
then the federal will give them their own.
Federal
you
will
understand?
Take 40%,
so
they will take 60%.
Yes, exactly. It's not viable for the state because there are so many undeclared profits, and they are putting most of this, especially the northern governors, they are putting their states in deep mess in order to be getting that backyard illegal funds from gold and lithium and all those other things. Tinubu went to France now.
Yes.
What France is looking for, 90% of what France is looking for is in those northern middle
states.
Belt areas.
That's right.
Yeah. So if Tinubu want to deal with them, Baba, he will just reignite that Niger problem and send military there. They will not rest. They will just stand still. And you know that kind of war is a war of attrition. What do you call it? It will last for. It can never end. You know, that's one point Tinubu can use, but I'm not sure he's looking for that. But that is one of his game plan. But the one I'm sure of is that he wants to increase money that's coming to the center, so that, you know, the center, that's where he is. The center will be more viable. But what me I'm seeing is God is using him to do this so that by the next time, the next season, you know, after it's 8 years, another one will come. By the time they want to revenge, they will now tweak it again. Say all the companies that are mining in this area, this region, must be headquartered here. Sure, you see now that everything is now going back to basics. You understand? If you tweak it, all the oil companies will go and locate themselves.
Go to the Niger Delta. Yes. All those ones who are also mining illegally, they would have to be declared legal, so that they can collect money from them to run their states.
Exactly. Exactly. So you see now, but the key one that benefits Tinubu both locally and nationally is that value-added tax, because no matter how you tweak it, the Southwest is where everybody wants to be. So whether you like it or not, you will pay that value-added tax. Lagos, Ogun, all the Southwest states, they will develop faster before any other state, before any other region in that country, because it stretches from Lagos.
If they actually really use the money for the people, that's another argument entirely, right?
They will be forced.
I think your point is very valid. Your point is valid in the sense that Tinubu's arrangement is we are not sharing this money with anybody anymore. Okay, once we take from Lagos, we give Lagos 60% back. We keep 40%. Whatever we take from the state, we give them 60%. This is no longer like we take from Lagos, take from everybody, put it in a jar, and then redistribute to everybody anymore. No. It's what you bring in. We take from your state. Now, we'll give you 60%, we take 40%.
And Tinubu knows that the Southeast, they are just waiting that it will just happen like this. They just say, okay, this one, let's do it regionally. You know, everybody, South go even happy pass. Let's do it by the geopolitical zones. Everybody, every company you have, you go from there, they give us. They will so love it. You know, he knows that you don't need to convince those ones. But the North, they are now
Do you know there is
because
something that I think I should remind everybody as well that Tinubu just did as well, and that is creating the geopolitical zone commissions. Do you remember that? They are right now, even though you have states, right? He has created 6 geopolitical zone commissions, and they're like regional governments on their own. Do you know that? That he has created
yes, I know. The
Southeast Development
Commission has already phoned.
Let me list
they are thanking him for that.
Let me list
they are thanking him so much.
He has created the North Central Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission, Northwest Development Commission, Southwest Development Commission, Southeast Development Commission, and then a South-South Development Commission. Now, he has given them, he has in his budget of 2025, each commission will receive nothing less than 4 trillion naira or so from what they are planning. Right? Now, that 4 trillion naira is like he has created his own shadow government for these regions. That if things turn out somehow later, and then everybody want to go regional, right? So he can just say, well, they've set up the system.